When Kyle and his teammates entered the library's grand rotunda, the room was more crowded than they had ever seen it. Spectators, staring up at the Wonder Dome, were seated at the 4 rings of tables. The players from the 7 other teams milled around, oohing and eyeing at things Kyle and his friends now took for granted, like the holographic statues perched on their pedestals, peering down at the crowd below. The statues were waving at people who were waving up at them. Kyle recognized only one of the projected images. A greenish bald guy wearing bifocals and pants cut off at the knees, while tugging on a kite string. That had to be Benjamin Franklin. "Who are those other people?" he whispered. "Famous librarians," said Miguel. "Melville Dewey, Eratosthenes, St. Lawrence, Lewis Carroll, and the usual suspects." Kyle nodded. He was so glad Miguel was on his team. "In honor of the ancient Olympic Games," reported Akimi, "they have all sorts of Grecian urns up in the Art and Artifacts room. You can check out Mr. Lemoncello's old gym shoes in the Lemoncello Abelia room on the 3rd floor. But bring a gas mask." "I heard Muhammad Ali is boxing Rocky Balboa in the IMAX theater," added Miguel. "Winner wrestles Hercules." Up on the Wonderdome screens, Kyle saw the enormous image of 8 empty library carts and 2 rolling bins bulging with books. They seemed to be parked in front of the doors to the hundreds Dewey Decimal room on the 2nd floor. "Welcome, children!" cried a trembling voice. "I am so glad you are here. What took you so long?" Kyle looked toward the circulation desk in the center of the round room. Usually that was where Dr. Zinchenko and her staff worked, helping people find whatever information or books they were looking for. During the escape game, a holographic version of Mr. Lemoncello's favorite childhood librarian, Mrs. Gail Tobin, had popped in to help administer clues. Today's guest librarian hologram, the lady with the trembling voice, was somebody new. She looked frazzled, worn out, the way teachers sometimes look at the end of a really long day before spring break. "My name is Lonnie Gauze," said the shaky see-through librarian. She was nervously nibbling a pencil as though it were a cob of corn. "I was the first librarian at the old Alexandriaville Public Library. The one they bulldozed down so that we could build a parking garage." She started sobbing. "Oh, the horror! The horror!" "Thank you, Mrs. Gauze," said Dr. Zinchenko, striding into the room from a section of the fiction bookshelves that swung open like a hidden passageway in a castle. "Welcome to day 1 of our competition, Library Olympians. Today we begin our quest for the champions." "Yes!" cried the holographic librarian. "We need champions. We also need defenders. We needed them all those years ago when first books started disappearing off the shelves and then the wrecking balls rumbled up Main Street. Oh, the horror, the horror!" Dr. Zinchenko pointed and clicked a miniature remote at the wailing librarian. The librarian disappeared. "Perhaps we'll hear more from Mrs. Gauze later. Now, however, it is time for our first game. Will all 32 contestants please report to the 2nd floor balcony? Spectators, you may witness the event live and in high-definition color up on the Wonder Dome." "This way, you guys," Kyle said to the kids from out of town as he headed towards the nearest spiral staircase. All the librarian Olympians followed and clumped up the metal steps. "Kindly report to your assigned library cart," said a soothing female voice oozing out of the 2nd floor's ceiling speakers. "And remember, free people read freely." Marjorie Muldaur, walking with her Midwest teammates, chuffed a sarcastic laugh. "Thanks for the sappy bumper stickers, ceiling lady." The 2nd floor was carpeted by an... I'm going to start over. The 2nd floor was a carpeted circular balcony with the same circumference as the rotunda reading room below. The 12-foot wide balcony was lined with evenly spaced, massive wooden doors that opened up into the 10 Dewey Decimal Rooms. 8 library carts, 3 tiers of slanted shelves on wheels, were lined up in the front of the door to the hundreds room. Across from them stood 2 canvas bins, both loaded with books. Each library cart was labeled with 2 laminated cards, one with the name of the team, the other designating a range of Dewey Decimal numbers. The Hometown Heroes empty cart was labeled 900 to 999. That's for history and geography, Miguel reminded Kyle. Welcome to our first event, the library cart relay race, said Dr. Zinchenko, coming through another secret panel. This one was cut into the back of the curved fiction bookcases, which climbed past the second floor on their way up to the dome. To win this game, your team must be the first to complete 4 laps of the second floor balcony without spilling any of the 36 books stacked on your rolling shelves, no matter the obstacles. Marjorie Moldauer's arms shot up. Yes, said Dr. Zinchenko. There aren't any books on our library carts. No? Oh, that's right. The library has been closed for a week, so all the recently returned books, exactly 288 different titles, 36 from each of 8 different Dewey Decimal categories, are presently stored in one of those 2 rolling bins. You must find the books that belong on your cart, carefully load them, and then each team member must complete 1 full lap of the balcony and cleanly pass the cart off to the next relay racer. The team that finishes first will take home today's first medal and move closer to their college scholarships. I suggest choosing your swiftest cart pusher for the final leg. That's you, Akimi, said Kyle. You're the fastest. I'm the slowest, said Miguel. I'm pretty slow too, added Sierra. I'm more of a reader than a racer. That's okay, said Kyle. You 2 will be in charge of finding our books for us. The numbers should be on the spine, said Miguel. Look for anything that starts with a 9. By the way, said Dr. Zinchenko, to make this game more challenging, we have temporarily covered up all the call numbers on the spines of the books in the bins. Okay, said Akimi. So much for that idea. Find books about historical events and places you've always wanted to visit, suggested Sierra. How about the bathroom? Said Kyle, feeling queasy. Why do you think Kyle asked about going to the bathroom? And it said he was feeling queasy.